This is meeting 7 of Footballland.
Let me take your hand. I want to take you to football land. It's built in the sand. I'll run out of lyrics.
My name is Anthony Richardson. I am CEO of Footballland.
My name's Mark Davison. I'm Lord Sir Chief Ride Engineer of Footballland.
And we've been given $1 billion accidentally by the state of Qatar to build a football-themed theme park in Qatar for the World Cup in Qatar. And it's called Footballland. And Mark, we've kind of felt a bit overburdened with how big this theme park is going to be. $1 billion is a lot of money. There's a lot of work to do. So we've just brought on a third person.
Yeah.
I think it's best to introduce him now and maybe break the ice. You're here, aren't you, Ryan Baxter?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, I'm sat right next to you.
Yeah. And you're going to help us just take a bit of the workload off our shoulders and have a look at the past rides that we have designed and see how you can logistically make them logistically possible.
Yeah, I'm here to help, whatever you need.
What's your job title? What would you like it to be?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's customary normally for the employer to give the job title. So,
all right, so intern. Okay, thank you. Well, this is Ryan Baxter. He's the intern, and here's a list of the rides we have designed so far.
The Leicester City Fairyland, the Tunnel of Wagner /Donald /Joachim Love, Jimmy Conrad's Conrad Biscan 3000, Steve Mechanical Bull, Marek Larwood's Football Hunger Games, Sir Alex Ferguson's Mind Game Simulator, Nima Dudra's Betrayal Monorail,
Escoffiation Football, Steve Cabaret,
the School Sports Football Simulator,
and
Ultimate Meat and Potatoes Miniature Fun Fair.
Right, on the agenda today, we've got some very exciting bits and bobs. You've got a lovely new ride idea, Mark.
I have,
Looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah.
And we've got the Delightful Sausage coming in later to pitch their ride. But first, Ryan, you've earmarked a problem with the Leicester City Fairy Tale ride, which we didn't envisage.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I've sort of, I've been having a quick look back through the rides, and Leicester's definitely posing a problem. I mean, it's all down to Richard III's bones, I'm afraid. And I just got off the phone with the Cardinal of Leicester Cathedral, and I think he's playing hardball.
He doesn't want us to have them.
Well, I don't think he's that attached to them. I think it's just maybe just a case of, I think he's just trying to drive the price up, I think.
Oh, it's all about the money, isn't it?
We need dem bones.
Does it actually have to be the bones?
It does really, yes, because their magical fairy tale ride to the Premier League title it's no coincidence, I think, that it was the same year that they found an old dead king in a car park. It was magic that powered them to it.
And we couldn't put some sort of special effects on some plaster cast bones or...
No, we need his real bones. We need to smash them up.
Right.
We need a toy train to drive over them. Don't get all the bones, like just his leg bone, some of the bones in his foot, just enough bones to smash up.
Okay.
The foot has more bones than any other part of the human body. If we could negotiate a price on a foot, we'd be getting value for money, I think.
Foot and a leg, maybe. Okay.
But don't let him fob you off like the ear bones, because we know they're small. You can't smash up an ear bone.
It's only 6 bones in the ear.
Okay, foot and leg.
Yeah.
And if that's a no-go...
Steal them.
Steal them?
Steal them. British Museum it. Yeah, British Museum it, mate.
Okay, so foot, leg, and or heist.
Yeah, and a coffee, please. Put that on the list.
Steal them bones. Thank you, mate. All right, cheers. Thank you.
Football.
Mark, you've got an idea for a ride. I'm all ears.
Yes. So I think the Footballland needs a central stadium for housing, like opening ceremonies, matches, whatever. I've been looking at the existing stadia that Qatar has already built ready for the World Cup, and a lot of them look like lady bits.
Right.
There's one in Al Hakra that looks like a vulva, and in fact the main one in Doha also looks like a vulva. So I'm thinking, great, lovely, but let's go round the back. Let's explore the bum. So let's design a stadium that looks like a bottom, and then that can tie in with this famous Sir Alex Ferguson phrase, Squeaky Bum Time. So I'm proposing we build in the centre of the park Squeaky Bumtime Arena.
Will it be visible from space?
Definitely. I think when you see footage of the International Space Station drifting over Earth, it always looks really lonely and the astronauts look frankly bored. I want to give them a real eyeful when they go over Doha. They can see some vulva, and anatomically this will be a lady's bum. In fact, it's anatomically linked to the vulva in Doha.
Right.
So it's kind of like space pornography, but tastefully done.
Yeah. How can you make a stadium that looks like a bottom then?
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen a bottom, but it's basically 2 soft, peachy mounds with a rectal opening. So that will be the roof. It'll come over in two semicircular, semispherical cups, if you like, that'll meet in the middle with a kind of anus that can be used to, I don't know, eject waste gases or something, basically doing a sky Botikov.
How will it be squeaky?
Well, I think, you remember the vuvuzelas?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people hated the vuvuzelas, but they were popular. They weren't cheap. They make a lot of money. I say everyone have a vuvuzela in there, and then it will sound like some kind of flatulence effect. You know, especially if we get a Mexican wave of vuvuzela blowings, it'll be like a reverberating fart just kind of careening around the inner walls of the stadium. I think that'd be a lovely touch.
You can't have toilets in a bum, though, can you? Does this mean that there are going to be no toilets in the Squeaky Bumtime Arena?
Well, I've thought about that, and we can save space on the toilets if the vuvuzelas double as shiwis, because I mean, I don't know why they're called shiwis, because they work perfectly well for me whenever I've found one. So you're blowing your happy bum noises into the vuvuzela, and then you need a wee, just wee into it and leave it on your seat when you leave. Someone will clear it up.
So you can't use that vuvuzela after you've used it?
Well, you can, but it's not advised. I mean, health and safety would recommend you didn't use it after urination has occurred. But I think it's more win than lose with that combination.
The only thing I'm slightly worried about is the atmosphere dropping off in the second half once everyone's used their vuvuzelas. And you get to the point where only 10, 15 people are actually using it by stoppage time. But that said, it's actually quite a good monitor to see who's been and who hasn't. You know, it's like a bladder competition, isn't it? Can you excrement into one?
Yes. And then if you do subsequently blow through it, it's quite a spectacular, it's sort of like a pea shooter effect.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I'm ready to vote on this one. It's unanimous, I believe. All in favour of the Squeaky Bumtime Arena say aye. 3, 2, 1, aye. Congratulations, Mark. What a wonderful idea. We've been sent a jingle, Mark. A jingle from a member of the public who calls themselves Lizard Hands.
Lizard Hands. Do you think he actually has lizard hands?
Lizards don't have hands.
Or is it Liz and then Ardhands is her surname?
Oh, yeah, Elizabeth Ardhands, yeah. Here it is. Have a listen. Let me know what you think. This could be a possible pick-me-up. Get into the park. We're having some fun.
Footballland. 2 words. Footballland. In the Qatar desert. The land of football. For you and me. Footballland. The land of football.
Pass it to me.
And soccer, maybe.
I'm open. Yay.
And football.
Let's go to Footballland.
2 words.
Go.
Well, you have to admire the kind of Brian Eno vibe there. That's very ambient. I found myself drifting off into all kinds of football-y dreams.
Into an upbeat dream, yeah. I love it. I'm well up for that being our main sort of in the trance tent, or indeed in any tent. If we've got a tent, I want that music playing in it.
Yeah, even if it's just in a single portaloo, I want that involved.
Sorry, chap. Sorry to interrupt. I've got some posts for you.
Thank you, Ryan. Oh, I know what that is. That is our samples for Ryan Giggs's chest hair garden.
Ooh.
We've got Ryan Giggs' actual chest hair for his...
No. I thought to build up the chest hair garden, we're going to use AstroTurf because in Qatar it's very humid. Using his actual chest hair will become very sticky, very matted. It's not going to last more than 2 or 3 days. So get your AstroTurf in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything with AstroTurf once it's put down.
We'll just dye it black, though, because he doesn't have green hair. He's not an alien.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Have a feel of that.
Oh, that is really soft, isn't it? That's lovely.
Quite like that one.
Sensual. Oh, I can't stop running my fingers through Ryan Giggs' chest hair. That is surprisingly nice.
Yeah, it's like a newborn hedgehog.
Ooh.
Sort of, its spines haven't fully hardened yet.
Oh, guys, try rubbing your forehead across it. That is nice.
Don't do it too fast. You'll get forehead burn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did it too quick.
Go with the grain as well. If you go against the grain, then it hurts. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to take those away. I'm going to take them away. I've got to give these back.
Footballland, 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 Footballland.
Was that Leicester Cathedral on the phone? Are they good news? Good news, Ryan? Good news?
No, I'm afraid not. No
Right.
good news. They're very much playing hardball. The Cardinal is
Okay, plan B. Let's go for the heist.
heist.
But we don't know anything about planning a heist.
You just wear a mask, Mark. It's not hard.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'll be Batman. I like the ears.
All right, if you're Batman, I'm Superman.
No, Superman doesn't have his face is fully visible. You'll be caught. You'll be seen.
Could I have Superman's face, though? Could one of you draw Superman's face on my face, and then
Yep.
it won't be my face?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. What about you, Mark? What have you got?
I want to be E.T., but the whole costume, not just a mask.
Right, we're going for superheroes here.
Yeah.
Well, E.T. was my superhero when I was 9, so what's E.T. ever done to offend you?
He's not the most athletic, is he, you know?
All right, Superman. He's got a bike.
Yeah, but he doesn't cycle the bike, though, does he?
Also, Mark, you got a problem that when the police are looking, they're just going to look up in the sky and see you cycling over the moon. So I've got a new plan. Ryan, you plan a heist that keeps Mark firmly at home.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Riding my bike with my little legs, all on my own.
Act 2 of E.T., when you're sort of all weak in the lake, covered in that weird white stuff.
Yeah, face down in a puddle.
Okay, I'm on it.
So, Anthony, I've got some fantastic guests in the meeting today. Are you ready for this? They are the Delightful Sausage. Delightful Sausage are an award-winning double act consisting of Amy Gledhill and Chris Cantrill. They have written and performed on CBBC, BBC Three and BBC Radio 4. And in 2019, they were nominated for Best Show for the Dave Awards at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. 2019 also saw them as guests on Harry Hill's Club Night. Hello, Delightful Sausage.
Hello.
Are you football fans yourselves, or are you not football fans?
Oh, big time, actually. Real big time football fans. I remember watching some England World Cup games in the 90s.
Have you followed England since then, or you thought they'd peaked in the 90s and
I thought they'd
stopped?
peaked. I thought I've had my fill. I get what this is about. I don't need any more. Why overstimulate?
We've got a disclaimer for you to sign. So you, the Delightful Sausage, are handing over full ownership of your ride idea to Anthony and Mark in its permanent place in Footballland. And you're swearing on a copy of Shoot magazine from 2000. Just to prove you have a copy there, which footballer is on the cover, please?
That would be David Seaman.
David Seaman, yes.
That's the correct
Yeah.
answer. Now, what drew you to David Seaman on the cover?
His hair, his kind eyes.
Yeah.
He's got the eyes of a kind cow.
Yeah. He looks like he could, he is very kind, but if you crossed him, he could put his hand through a wall to protect his family.
Like a cow.
After a lot of England games, you might have seen this, but this just cropped into 2000, but they did used to milk him after a game if he performed well enough.
Is that where the headline, "We milked Seaman after our victory," came from, or was that a different story?
It's just normal, healthy, getting some calcium from David Seaman. And yeah, people did want to take it down a smutty route. You know, they wanted to make it a sexual thing, but it never was. And that's why I always have respect for David Seaman, because he never let it get mucky.
Here we are 20 years later, everybody's drinking it.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to tell us your idea? And this one, I believe, is around the same era.
Yeah, so our idea is we put our heads together. Amy's obviously really big into the 1994-1995 football season, or the season of football as it was known.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not particularly interested in any of that at all. And that's not because it's bad or anything. It's just because it's not actually quite interesting. And I'm into like Warhammer and PC gaming and stuff like that. But the other big passion in my life is immersive theatre. So we came up with an idea that mixes immersive theatre with the 1994-1995 football season, which is why we would like to pitch to you Hasta La Vista, baby. The Eric Cantona experience.
Right, well, that sounds very interesting.
Intriguing.
Why Hasta La Vista? Why is that in Spanish when he was very much a Frenchman? He was a Frenchman, wasn't he?
Well, I'm just going off what was written in Shoot magazine, but I think we all remember 1994, 1995, when everybody was saying Hasta La Vista, baby, and popping up their red collars when he was playing for Manchester City United. And scored the football goal.
If I could just interject there for a second, Chris, what what you failed to mention is that yes, it is a Spanish terminology, but it is said in a French accent.
Hasta la vista, baby.
This is where I'm intrigued because we've definitely got the title. And then what happens?
Oh, right. Okay. So you guys really do drill down on the detail, don't you? Okay. So what happens next is, obviously, this is the Qatari desert. So what we do is we build in a giant plot of land, like a place where Eric Cantona was doing his 1994-1995 football, which looks a lot like the Wild West in America. And there's a saloon and a bar and a brothel, because obviously, when they've done the kicking, the England boys are going to need they're all going to need milking. Basically, it's an experience where you play Eric Cantona and get to sort of live out a bit of a fantasy of what it would be like to be Eric Cantona.
But in the Wild West.
But in the Wild West, yeah.
Because I know a lot of football fans, they would have been very excited to recreate how he played football. You know, his seagulls following the trawler, you know, when he kicked that fan in the stomach. But you've kind of eschewed all that for him in the Wild West, solving crimes and shooting people.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you're a true Cantona fan, you know that's where his roots are. So people think of Cantona and they immediately think football. Sure, he did a bit of football, but what his passion was localised crime based around saloons.
Yeah, as with all art, I understand that you guys are business guys, but as with all art, there's like a metaphysical, abstract angle. Was Eric Cantona actually in the Wild Wild West?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
But this represents the struggles of the 1994-1995 season, because who's the sheriff of the town? Ryan Giggs.
Okay.
And who's the deputy? It's Gaza.
Your mission, the game in that scene, is to keep him out of the saloon.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
So is Cantona a sheriff from a different jurisdiction?
He's a drifter.
He's a drifter, exactly.
Blown into town on the sound, which is obviously reminiscent of the Manchester. An outsider blown into town with a job to do, which is to clean up this town, and by this town, read football and kick some people, kick some well-meaning spectators, and administer. And it's at this point, it's worth pointing out that the entire town is populated with, if you've seen Westworld, like robots, but instead of robots, it's out of work actors, because they're 10 a penny. But you get to do that. You get to deliver that career-ending kick to somebody who's just got a call back for Hollyoaks.
So let's just put it into the ride goer's mind. So they're queuing up, and it's quite a long wait, because it sounds as if this is an experience that only one person can enjoy at a time. So maybe it's a 15-20 minute experience?
No, it's 4 to 5 hours per person, but you can go around as a family unit.
All being one Cantona, so you're sort of standing on each other's shoulders.
Yes, exactly.
Is it like a Cantona pantomime horse, where one person's the bum, one person's the head,
or is it more like the human centipede, like the human cantipede?
Yeah, we could go bum to mouth, as long as mum and dad are happy with that.
Yeah, it's the human cantipede. You've taken the words right out of our mouth and put them straight into your bum.
Yeah. You
play one big Cantona, but the experience is, like I said, between 4 to 6 hours. So the queues can get quite dangerously long. There is a chance people could die in the queues with it being in the desert and things, if they're not properly equipped, because they could be there for, I don't know, a month, a couple of months. But what we thought is that's a potential revenue stream, because we can have water shops and sustenance shops, and we can charge absolutely through the roof prices because they're going to need that to stay alive. So you'd be surprised how much someone will pay for a lovely little bottle of water in the desert if there's literally nowhere else they can go. So
you get in immediately, all of the slight irritations of literally months of queuing have borne themselves into fruition of you being Eric Cantona, Le Chef, as they call him.
Monsieur Le Babyfoot.
So what happens next?
Well, the great thing about immersive theatre is that really it's down to the imagination of the player. So there's like a couple of key stories going on at the same time. There's obviously the Ryan Giggs is the evil sheriff. You need to keep Gaza out of the bar story, but think of it like a computer game. So there's also like hidden secrets. You can find the bunker, the bunker where Eric Cantona needs to. There's like a gun in there. That you can ride a pig. You might want to just spend you might just want to spend 4 or 5 hours being Eric Cantona, and that could be just going into a shop and working in a shop. The marketing is how are you going to be Eric Cantona?
yeah.
How big is this world? How many people are we employing? And how does the player know when it's over?
Well, have you seen we've got I can't remember what it's called, the Star Wars. This is like the Star Wars experience in Disneyland, where you get to spend, I think it's like an hour and a half in a little Star Wars town. And then at the end of your time, because you've got a wristband, a troop of stormtroopers find you and escort you off the premises.
But in this case, it's Glen Hoddle. Glen Hoddle comes in.
Dressed as a stormtrooper.
Glen Hoddle dressed as a stormtrooper marches in and he says, "Get out of this town." That's how Glen Hoddle sounds. And he says, "Get out of this town." And that's when you know your experience is over. And in terms of size, it's actually, we've based it all on the size and shape of a Tesco Metro that we know in Salford.
What is to stop you from just kicking Glen Hoddle in the face and getting on with your Western time?
Well, that's very interesting, actually, because if you do manage to do that, you do unlock a secret section. Okay, so if you go with Glen Hoddle, your time is over. If you do kick him in the face, who comes out? It's Gary Lineker. So if you do kick Glen Hoddle, Gary Lineker comes out.
Of Glen Hoddle?
Like an alien birth from the stomach.
Yeah. So Hoddle spreads open from the chest, Lineker comes out, and then you have a choice. Do you make him cry or do you not? Okay. So then it becomes more like a choose your own adventure for this final part. And there's 2 possible options. So if you make Lineker cry, what did we say for this bit, Chris?
Well, if you make Gary Lineker cry, you get to unlock the biggest chicken you've ever seen in your life.
That's it. Yeah, the big chicken.
You get to take that home with you.
That's quite a prize.
It is. We don't supply any of the papers to get it on the plane, but...
How big are we talking here?
Well, there's a bit of, like, sort of messing around with the DNA, so it's probably... It's about as big as a settee.
So you're gonna have to buy, like, 3 seats for it on the plane, assuming you can get it through customs.
Yeah. There's, like, I mean... If I was the UK government controlling, like, preserving our...
Sovereign nation.
Yeah, something. I would not let that chicken onto the soil. Like, that would be a mistake. Because if they get into the UK and start breeding, I mean, those against a human, we're not going to come off well in that. It's like the end of all life as we know it. So really, you should destroy that chicken in the desert.
Well, if you've gone 3 months without food, I guess you could slaughter it and feed the rest of the queue.
We're going to go to a vote on this. All in favour of Hasta La Vista Baby in brackets, Eric Cantona, full stop. Say aye. 3, 2, 1.
Aye.
Yes!
Huge congratulations.
Oh, this is great news, guys. We haven't actually floated the idea with Eric Cantona yet, but I've heard he's a fun guy and he's going to be on board for sure. I can feel it.
And if he isn't, we'll kill his dog.
I'm going to Footballland, to Footballland, to Footballland. I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
It's not built yet.
That was a productive meeting, I felt.
Yes, a very good meeting. We need to get on the case with vuvuzelas. Ryan's not listening. Ryan's building a Superman papier-mâché mask.
What's that?
Stop planning the heist for a bit. Can you order some vuvuzelas?
Yep.
Can you look into architecture that is structured like a bum and
architecture.
the import-export duties on massive chicken?
GMO chickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, meeting adjourned.
Football.